what? So how can we help you get this $1 million? Because I know that everybody, especially Alex, you were that was like the most popular podcast episode we had ever done. Everybody loves you. Everybody wants to talk to you, man. I'm sure that the Laser Everything community would snap at a chance to be able to help you guys out and achieve this goal. And I know that you guys had a couple things in mind. So could you tell us a little bit more about the event that's coming up and what we can do to help you guys out? Hey guys, what's up? And welcome to a very special edition of the Laser Source podcast. We're actually pre-recording this because there's so much going on around today's topic that we just couldn't get it in day of. But we have two amazing special guests. One of them you're going to recognize from right here on the podcast itself. The other one, you're going to have seen him around the Discord. Lots of big, exciting stuff to share today. So without further ado, please let me introduce our guests. We've got Alex, Campbell, and Charles from Swaasi. What's up, guys? How you doing?
Doing great. Thank you for having us here.
Of course.
Excited.
Yeah, it's great. So, I mean, let me cut to the chase. I don't want to bury the lead, okay? Two guys that met because Alex was on an episode of the Laser Source podcast and grew a relationship inside of the Laser Everything community now have a shot at $1 million to start a new laser-focused company. What can you guys tell me about that?
Yeah, Alex, man, tell your side of this, and then I'll bring it home to Atlanta.
So I guess you know how your parents maybe tell you to not talk to people that reach out to you on internet forums. Well, I chose to ignore that advice. So,
oops.
So I mean, Laser Source podcast, right? I mean, I was on a year ago, right? So I mean, almost exactly to the day a year ago.
Yeah.
And I was on the Laser Source podcast, and I definitely had a lot of people reaching out to me, but then someone reached out to me on the Discord server, started DMing back and forth about some laser technologies, and turns out it was Charles. So Charles and I have been back and forth for just about a year now, and it sort of culminated in me moving from Canada down to Atlanta very soon, later on this month.
Yeah.
And I'm joining Charles to essentially work on Swaasi. So I'll let Charles sort of move forward with what Swaasi is all about.
Yeah, I'm so excited to be here. We're building Swaasi, which is swag as a service, and I know Boyce was looking. You always like to know the origin of the name, and it's SaaS, software as a service, and then we threw the W in there for swag and the I because the .com was available. And there's there's your origin story. And it doesn't necessarily resonate with grandma as like an Etchify does, or some of the other better brands that are more aligned in like what kind of product you're getting. But we're a venture capital play. We're trying to we have a very clear vision of what the problem is in swag, and how lasers especially are just agnostic to the distance to the item. They're so much faster. I'm a second generation guy in Atlanta, and I think that the contempt that Alex has for his lasering operation, he just looks at my embroidery machines that run, you're talking a couple minutes per run, and
right.
It just doesn't. It's just a natural. This is the edge of the technology, from not just the lasering to the galvanometers and now the UV, and where we're pushing. And I went on this year-long search to find the absolute Avenger team, and our CTO that'll be there at this pitch that we've been talking about, that could potentially win us. This first round gets you to the finals, and the finals has just like a massive opportunity for everybody. But I've got a CTO, and we have an artwork expert that can convert vectorization, and he has a whole team in India that does it. And we have a guy that has a traditional factory, plus what we've got on hand now with Alex coming in. And we've just assembled the dream team to do swag as a service. And we're going to be launching these like one-click Shopify-based stores where you get a full branded experience, your logo on everything, trying to to build the tools for companies to get their swag.
Right. So I'm thinking like spread shop on steroids, essentially, right? Like spread shop without having to do any of the work.
100%. And the CTO that we found, he was the one that worked and invented the pay with your credit card rewards point on another site.
Mm-hmm.
So if you like every time you check out on Amazon with your rewards points or Best Buy or Wayfair, all those like that company got sold to Intercontinental Exchange that owns NASDAQ, and they thank you and the Shoe family thanks you. So it's not a big leap, right? If we can get your logo put onto an item, maybe we'll be in an Amex partner roll up, or one of these big banking solutions where you can get laser items as reward points. And there's just so many things like that. When we have swag as a service, we really are like from Salesforce automation to customer service automation. Like if you can get it down to a one-click, see it, have it, and it's just I can't wait to see what we can build together down here in Atlanta.
Yeah, and you guys sound really confident about your plan moving forward. So you've got the infrastructure to make this dream come true in place. You guys are like pretty much ready to rock and roll, right?
Yeah. So really, like what we're going to be doing is a little bit of sort of the progression, right? And the reason that I'm so excited about joining someone such as Charles is that Etchified. So Etchified, from people that have listened to the last podcast, essentially what we did was we took some readily available tools that are on the internet and Shopify, and sort of married them and said, what? So we have this issue where the customer comes to us and they have an idea of what they want. But for us to basically do artwork and do proofing and all this back and forth with customers, they know what they want. If they can sort of have some sort of graphic interface, which we found through Zakiki, of course,
right,
to be able to sort of put their logo or their dream on something, then that's a great way of doing it. And really that cuts down the customer service aspect of it, but it also really what we're finding is that customers don't like having to send an email to someone to order something, right? They want to go on a site, they want to see what it looks like, and they want to click and purchase it. But what we're finding with Etchified, and I think Charles would probably agree that this is the same sort of in the embroidery business, is that customers, it's all these transactions, right? So every time you want to purchase something, it's just another complete transaction, right? And Zakiki, for as awesome as it is, without manually going and creating a follow-up item or putting things in collections or something, and a little bit of it is definitely like a technology back end, but really Shopify is not set up to have someone be able to go buy something that they just bought again if it's customized, right? So what we've found was that if you can show someone their item with a logo already on it, then that really takes a lot down, right? So what was happening a lot was that instead of putting things through the website, people would send me their logo, and then I would put it, mock it up in Photoshop and send them that, and they'd be like, okay, yeah, that looks great. I'll order X number of them, right?
Right.
And Charles, it's kind of funny, right? Because working in the embroidery industry, Charles, they had the same parallel processes, right? And then the company says, hey, you know what, we want to order 50 of those again. Okay, send us that proof again, and then send us, all this stuff, and let's do POs and all that stuff. And really, it's just the back end of the customer service ends up being so laborious. And really what it comes down to is your customers want to just be able to click and purchase the thing that they've already purchased, or be able to see their logo on new things.
Right.
And without going through the processes of mocking everything up and being able to essentially go through and create all these permutations of their item, it's really, really tough to show them this. So, and that's where the whole concept of swag as a service comes in, is that what we do is Charles mentions these one-click stores. What we're doing is we're taking the logo, and it's essentially being put into what we call a brand package, which is pretty common output from, say, like a graphic designer or something, right? So you'll get like a package that has, here's your logo in white, here's your logo in black. But
right.
What we've done is we've worked with our technology team, and we're able to essentially automatically marry that with all of our items. So now all of a sudden we can walk the customer through a curation process where they are able to say, okay, you know what, I want drinkware, I want tech accessories, like we want the Bluetooth speakers, we want the headphones, we want this, we want apparel, we want hoodies, we want, the hats, we want, trucker hats, but not, bucket hats and stuff. And through that, we're able to essentially build out a curated collection. But instead of going to a website and saying like your logo here, and sort of having to imagine and getting back, proofs and stuff and really going through this, we say we're going to do all that work up front, and we're just going to create a store with all their stuff in it. And basically it ends up becoming more of a process of elimination. Okay, we don't want that, we don't want that, we don't want that. But because it's essentially auto-magically launching an entire store of their brand, we can take that friction out of the purchase process, right? Yeah. And ideally it becomes like, like Amazon, right? You're sitting here, you're like, oh man, I need some toilet paper. Okay, well, okay, like maybe don't buy toilet paper from Amazon. I do sometimes, but it's, it's just like, how do you become the default, right? How do you become the default where if someone doesn't say, hey, you know what, I need t-shirts again, I'm going to go start price shopping on all these sites and find like the best time, the best delivery. If we just say, here's your logo on everything, here's transparently, here's the lead time, here's what it's going to cost. If you don't like that price, here's another brand with a different price. Is that you just have this ability to essentially over time build in and become the default because you're presenting things in just this like really easy to adjust, frictionless manner.
Right. And these one-click stores, I mean, they are going to handle every part of this transaction, right? From like if I show up at Kyle's swag shop, right, and I want to purchase some of his swag, when I click that buy button, it's all happening within Swaasi, right? Yeah, that's beautiful, man. That's so cool. So I mean, you've got this killer idea, you've got the brains, you've got the people, and you know how to move forward. I like that. How can we help you get this $1 million? Because I know that everybody, especially Alex, you were that was like the most popular podcast episode we had ever done. Everybody loves you, everybody wants to talk to you, man. I'm sure that the Laser Everything community would snap at a chance to be able to help you guys out and achieve this goal. And I know that you guys had a couple things in mind. So could you tell us a little bit more about the event that's coming up and what we can do to help you guys out?
Yeah, I'd love to. Thank you so much for giving us this platform for it. So Atlanta Tech Village is this amazing, I think it's the 4th largest in the world for a tech incubator. And to be a member, you have to be building proprietary technology. And it's founded by the guy that did Invesco. And I mean, they have the beers on tap, they got the coffee, they got the ping pong. It's the place you want to be. It's this massive building in central Atlanta, and everyone there is doing the same thing. They're trying to take an idea and just explode into the sky. They want to go, they call it being a unicorn when you become a $1 billion company. Right. And then they have a list of all of them, and they've got a bunch of unicorns. And so new members and other people are capable. They have this once a month event where you can pitch. It's a pinch competition, and they only let in 5 people per round. And we got onto the September docket, this 26th today. We'll be there at 7. It goes on about 7, and 5 people will pitch. It's a 5-minute format and then 5-minute questions. And the winner gets a guaranteed parking spot and an office at ATV. But the real thing is that the credibility comes, it's a line in the sand. We're going to have a video with the slides out there. We were this is who we've assembled. We were having pizza downtown with my CTO and our project manager on Sunday this last week. And he was like, what are we going to need to have in place when we have 1 million stores? Yeah. And it's just like, I'm going to need that room where Scrooge McDuck puts all the money to swim around in. It's like the internal scream, exhale at the same time, Yeah. But you could really help us by, come reach out to us. Be there if you want to come to the event. We've got the link. If you can watch online and you feel like you've got a question that would clarify that what we're doing is a need you're meeting, you ask it, and they'll ask us on stage. Or if you hit us up in the Atlanta area, come vote. If you think our pitch stands a chance, like that. Now,
I mentioned early on that we're pre-recording this, preparing for this event, because I really want to help you guys out with this, and I want to get this in front of as many people as possible. But I also wanted this episode to air the day of the event. So if you're watching this, it's Monday. The event is today. This is something that you guys can go and act on right now. So where exactly can people watch this event? Because I know if you're in the Atlanta area, they can just come, right? People can just show up. Yeah,
they do sell out because everybody they get a food sponsor. So last time was Papa John's, and they have the beer on tap. But you can watch online. They have a live YouTube link that usually goes live that day, and we can make sure that it's in the comments if people want to watch.
We'll throw that down in the description for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, and about like 8-ish, 8:30-ish. The depends on how people snap through it.
Right.
They pull the vote up, and there's not that many votes. Like just like 20 people could come out and give us some support. It makes a world of difference. The final round is where you get like the mega attention, but these rounds, especially because it's a little bit of a holiday. So,
and how long is between the initial round and the final round?
It's next year. So next
year.
Yeah, you get like the actual gauntlet. So it's it's a big deal, I mean,
right. So if we get you through here, then I'll be seeing you guys like next September so that we can get ready for the real deal, right?
I think it's January. I think it's
January.
So it's like So
I'm sure you guys will be emailing me like, let's go.
we'll be able to show you more about what the technology we've got off the ground. But like, I watched that episode a year ago that Alex did, and I took notes. I take notes, and like I was such a bad student in school, but when I graduated and got out, it's like, what was this piece of paper? So I like date everything. So I actually have my handwritten line notes, and I have like the YouTube timestamps, and it's like, he said I should go read this book, or Alex mentioned that he did it this way because he doesn't have Jeff Bezos money. And I'm like, that's interesting. And I wrote down like, what would Alex do if he had Jeff Bezos money ? And it's like a little star. And I went back and I reread my notes. But the way that I found you, I wanted to give my dad a shout out because I'm a second generation company. Our company could not have been like more positioned to be destroyed by COVID. It's just like a hilariously unobscured game of Battleship where you could see like where to sink the torpedoes. Like our landmark clients were airlines, mega events. We like my personal division that I built up for like 10 years. The advertising was like how you should look when you're in someone's home.
Oh no.
Like if you're like major pest control companies, speaker installers or stuff like that. And like, I think you can relate to this now, but the only reason that I was like motivated and pushed through and like just rebuilt and joined the community was because my wife was pregnant. And so I was like, got to get this done, and I know you did your move and you had all that stuff going on. It's like the ultimate motivation.
It sure is, man. Yeah. Nothing lights a fire under your butt like a baby on the way for sure.
Yeah, so we have these orders that roll in for like the Deltas and the Home Depots. I'm in Atlanta, so you got Coca-Cola stuff. Like my dad was only, go after the larger clients, and those are the ones that you can service. And that way, if you spend time inefficiently, you can get it back on a larger order. And the lasers they're remarkable.
Right.
Okay, so like I was at these shows with Trotec, and like I bought a UV printer. And it's like you have to get it like right there. It's like it's got the lids. Yeah, so I have the world's best UV printer. I've got all this, and the laser just doesn't care. It's like a fuel injected car versus a carburetor. You just turn it on and it's ready to fire. And it's like, I think another thing that we wanted to say to the pot is like this market is exploding. You guys are on the ground floor. Like come with us. Like come see us, meet us in Atlanta. Like vote for us. But like we are not your competition. Like everybody that was buying embroidered shirts, we can laser a patch and just heat press it on in 15 seconds. Right? Like it's done. It's game over. Like, and direct to film and all the other things that Alex is going to be bringing on when he comes down here, managing all the new technologies. Like everyone in the LMA is on the ground. You guys are still on the ground floor. Right? Like I met and was talking to Alex actually originally about an OV laser that had been configured. And I learned through the same person that a person in Marietta, Georgia, where my parents live still and where I grew up, just a short drive from my house in Atlanta, there's a guy who had bought one to Alex's specification. And Alex had been talking to him. I went to his house on like a Wednesday, and his wife was just so insulted that I wouldn't eat dinner because I didn't want to impose. So she just like surreptitiously comes down with an extra taco. And I'm just like, oh my God, I can't even stop myself. And then we're drinking this Honduras beer that he had from Honduras. And it was like, these are the people that you're bringing together. And even if they aren't starting some new company that's chasing dollar signs, like the relationships are so awesome. And like, it's just I'm so happy to still be involved.
We have a lot of people come on the show that say the LMA is so great. The people are so nice. Like it helps so much. But I think that like, and as nice as that is, and I appreciate every single person who comes on and says that, it warms my heart. But the people that are on the LMA, and you mentioned this a little bit, these people are not your competition, right? These are your Alex Campbells to your Charles, right? Like you guys need to get together. You guys need to work together, collaborate, find new techniques, explore new technologies. When you say we're on the ground floor, you mean like we can only go up. And we're you know, I see so many people struggle alone. This channel, this community, everything that we have here is built on the idea that if we work together, we can do better for everybody more often, you know, hopefully all the time. And I've seen a big change. I have to be honest. When I started preaching about this kind of crap on the podcast, we always used to say how like toxic and dark the community is and how everything is like a safeguarded secret. It has evolved, man. It's evolved in the last 12 years. And I you know, not to get like a giant head, but I like to think that Laser Everything kind of lit the way on that. And just being able to like have you guys on and see everything you've accomplished so far. I've just spent like a lot of this time, because we've talked about a lot of this stuff before. I was kind of daydreaming a little bit, like what are they going to look like the next time that they're in here? Like, are they going to be in like suits in a boardroom, you know? Like, I'm getting excited about it. That kind of stuff, just like that kind of stuff, man, that just gets me stoked. And you know, when you guys initially reached out and said you wanted to do this, I could not be like just more excited to get this out in front of people. I really want the best for both of you guys, and I know the rest of the community does too, because if people that were part of our Laser Everything community didn't want to help each other, there wouldn't be a YouTube channel anymore. There would be no Discord server. There would be no LMA, because it's such a core facet in all of those things, you know. And that's why I was like, we can absolutely 100% bring this to the Laser Everything community, and I know that they're going to come out for this. I know that they're going to help, and I'm just excited, guys. I'm just super duper excited. If you're not already down in the description finding the link to go watch this event and vote for these two, stop watching now. You can come back and finish the rest later. Go watch the event, vote. If you're in Atlanta, go down. These guys want to say hi. They want to meet more people. They want to get more ideas. You know, they thrive on this kind of stuff. And there's a lot that we can learn from watching how Alex and Charles interacted with each other in the beginning and how they moved forward on cooperating in order to better themselves and each other, and where they are now. You know, I mean, look at these guys. They're like professional businessmen doing professional business stuff. And Alex is moving. He's leaving his freaking home country, man. That's no small thing, you know. This is like a really big deal. So, you know, I'm ranting a little bit, but it
is a natural progression, you know. Like I reached out to him like, hey, with the OV, you know, and then like once I saw that it worked a little bit, and then I learned where the products can come from, and then I have all these other suppliers from my promotional side that I know about, and I tried to figure out which one would help sell me blanks and like noodle through the products. Then like Alex came down and we had a summit, and he flew in, and then our artwork guy who helps us with all the vectorization, that owns the vectorization business, flew in from India. And we had like, you know, so we had like Canada, New York, China, and India all at the table. It was like, you know, I spent a year finding these relationships. So you're not going to meet somebody on LMA and then immediately have a thing that takes off. You know, like, but you got to figure out, you know, is this a person that I can, you know, when the times are tough, can I still enjoy, you know, going through the startup's a horrible grind, right? Building things, you know, right? Like can at the end of the day, is this a guy that I respect? And I like, you know it, like you'd work. It never ever stops ever. And there are a lot of really bad, I mean, you guys, the new laser show that we were filming, Kyle saw me like very upset while we were filming that. There was one point where like my mic had just been off for like 2 hours, and we had gone back and we were like spot checking some of the footage, and we realized it. And I think that's the maddest I've ever been, and Kyle was there for it. He did not quit that same day. So, you know, like I totally get it, man. Yeah, absolutely. I definitely understand what you're saying. And I know what you're saying too. Like, you're not going to meet somebody on the LMA and overnight you're going to like be in like this amazing business situation where, you know, things are exploding. But on the same hand,
if you are side-eyeing everybody and paranoid and combative, right, or standoffish, I'm getting a little strong with the words there, but I mean it. I mean, come on, guys, you operate in this community. You've all been to Facebook. If you do that to everyone all the time, and you're there consuming my content, you're there watching, Boyce on the podcast or Kyle in the Gantry CC, and you're thinking, how can I beat out and edge out all of the other people that are watching this content too? That's the wrong. You won't meet anyone ever. It's not that it's going to come to you overnight, but it will never come if that's your perspective, and that's what makes me sad.
I want to go back to something that Charles says. Sorry, Alex, is that comes from a mindset of scarcity, and we're at the like Charles said, this is the base floor. It's only going to go up from here. It's going to boom. We need to, as a community, have a mindset of abundance. Like there's plenty
it's so
of
abundant,
customers.
man. Like I can give you numbers right now.
Yeah.
So if you want to print a T-shirt, the world leader is an Israeli company called Kornit, and they develop their own machines, and they're called direct to garment printers, DTG, and they are absolutely the best. And their current machine that they're pushing has a wet on wet technology. It'll do unbelievable things. It's $800,000 retail. And it weighs 6,000 pounds. It requires perfect air, perfect electricity, perfect purified water. You also have to buy a $110,000 dryer. It takes 9 minutes to dry the shirt because they use wet on wet, so you have to take your time with it. It's the best in the world. It makes 60 shirts an hour.
That's it?
It's the best in the world.
I'm just playing.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah,
That's
60.
it. So you got to run that thing. You have to have like the power can never go out. The operator, you have to have redundant operation. And oh, by the way, its print heads have to be like, you have to get the fluff down. And if you do a head strike, now it's like you have to rebuild the whole thing. And it uses tubing that you can't buy at Home Depot. And it's like you can DHL a new laser, and it uses mirrors, and it goes 100 miles an hour. And the filming, I'm telling you, this community, the next thing, like the filming of the object being filmed, swag as a service, one of the big things that you're going to see on stage is like, this is the item that we have on fire. It's your logo on fire. You could speed it up and slow it down. And a lot of the stuff that Alex is going to be building inside of these machines is like the cameras that turn on when the laser fires. And like, instead of just a tracking email, you get like a video of your thing being done.
Nice. That's so cool.
Right. And then as the LMA grows, you're going to have people that can help you manufacture stuff, but you can still have a little, like you can have one, you do the one and then do the video, and then the rest of them get made elsewhere or whatever. It's scalable, and like, yeah, there's my idea. Go send all of your best customers a video of their catching fire, and the UV, the purple, man, it's
And now it's so nice on camera.
And the speed of it too. Like I sent, we all have our boys thread, our friends thread that, sometimes they're active, sometimes they're not. Alex got the UV going, the gantry UV going, and he sent me a picture and then a video, and I put it in my chat. And a buddy of mine that I probably don't talk to very frequently is super busy. He just starts blowing up. He's a doctor in Athens. And he's just like, oh my God, last year I used this chemical to etch a logo, and it was terrible. It ruined my favorite shirt. And it took so long. This is so cool. And it's like, I just send him a video of his logo on it. And then, if you give I had a friend whose dad is hard to buy from, and I get these concrete speakers from a place out in the Carolinas, and there's a bunch of them. So you can hit us up if you're looking for goods too. I mean, we'll share. We'll show you where we get them. I'm sure that his father will spend more time showing his friends the logo of his company being lasered than he will listening to his Bluetooth speaker.
Right.
Like there's just no way. There's no way that this guy who has a construction company is going to like sit at his desk and listen to this Bluetooth speaker for every single person. He's like, oh, there's a birthday gift. Look at it. It's
right.
Yeah. So
yeah, that's super cool.
And it's just one new thing. Have you heard of anybody currently sending videos of their items being made as part of the tracking?
Not as part of the tracking, no. We deal with a lot of people, remember, too, that are still very much so in the, as Alex likes to put it, job shop, mom and pop, phase, and sector. And so, like, there are tons of people that will send literal videos, like, from their phone to their customer and say, like, hey, I'm working on your stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But like built into tracking with technology and automation, we're not quite there, you know. Just as a collective, some are, but you know, as a collective, it's definitely more like a like mom and pop kind of feel, and a lot of people aspire to this kind of growth, and that's why I think that it's important to have you guys on, because people can do this. Normal people, you guys are normal people, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't take some magic. You don't need a $1 billion. You just need a decent idea and a good team to work with. If you can team up with smart, intelligent, hardworking people, I mean, you do whatever the hell you want. And that's what you guys did.
Yeah, and I think that the team aspect that you mentioned is something that's so important, in that I think for me, realizing that becoming part of a team and joining forces with someone else, you want to say Avengers joining forces, but you know, like essentially seeking out, because you know, Etchified was honestly, it was hitting my growth limits, right? I mean, you know, like I'm a one person shop, and I think that so many of us have this bootstrapper mentality that's like, okay, I'm gonna, you know, start this business with $0 in the bank account. I'm gonna do something till I can afford a laser. Then I'm gonna, you know, sell laser things till I afford another laser. Then I'll sell those laser things so I can afford another one. But what's really missing, I think, is a lot of that, you know, vision of like, where does this go from here, right? And that's where I think, you know, you really like reaching out and paying attention to other members of the community, right? So that was example of Charles, is just really paying attention to like, okay, who's doing something differently? Like what language am I hearing that's really different than you know, what I've been hearing before? And you know, even just to get back to the, you know, talking about like competition, right? You know, it's author's name that actually comes up quite often with us, and it's probably because we're in the startup startup mode. But it's Eric Ries, and you know, I can highly recommend anyone go read The Lean Startup. And it's not just all about like, you don't have to be starting, you know, a future $1 billion company to take a lot of lessons out of this. But one of the probably the most salient things that he says in that book is, he says that one thing that too many people focus on when they're small is competition, and like that, oh my gosh, you know, competition. He says, if you are not out innovating your competition, you are dead in the water.
Right. So
of course it's paraphrased, but it's like, if you're not moving so much faster than your competition that you don't even have to worry about them, then, you know, maybe you need to sort of consider your whole business model, right? Because that's where, you know, you get someone like an Uber or a, you know, DoorDash or one of these other companies that are, you know, turn into these unicorns, is that they're just like, I don't even care if I'm the only person doing this. We're just going to be so much better and so much faster and work so much harder than the other people that it's not even really a concern, right?
Dude, and I totally agree. That 100% scales down to like, you know, even just a local mindset, you know, like be that for your local competition. If it's just you in your shop or in your garage or whatever, like go at light speed on that scale. It doesn't have to be $1 billion company. You can absolutely scale that down and make kind of like a local focused take on that.
100% true.
Yeah,
and it's structural too, because Google is going to constantly roulette everyone in your local area. If they put everyone out of business except for the best laserer, then they can't make you all pay for advertising. Right. And so like structurally, Google is a democratic platform, and they can't choose in their search engine ranking position, their SERPs, who the best is unless they roulette them. So through different, like you can have weird hours. Like, so if you're like, how do I compete in the local market? Have weird hours, be open at 8 p.m. You know, like, and you'll see like the ads will stop at 5 p.m. and then your thing kicks on. So like, there's the sky is the limit for all of us. And I'm so excited to have found this community, because it, you know, I'm a second generation. I had to figure out where it's going, and it is still remarkable to me how fast it is.
Yeah. And the teamwork aspect is so important too. I mean, even just like, and I know this isn't exactly 1-to-1, but like, I remember the day my daughter had been born. I had finished moving the shop from upstairs to the freaking downstairs warehouse studio. I got everything put together. I got all the lasers set up. I got all the shit hanging up on the walls. All the lights are in. The mic is in, like literally everything. And I sat down in my rolling chair and I was like, shit, I need some help. Like, because it was like at that point, like when all of the hard manual labor had been done and I had this fleet of machines behind me and all of the best camera gear and the best mic, that's when it dawned on me. Like I I cannot continue to grow by myself, because there's just too much. There's just too much to do. It's too much to do. Now I've got social over here. I've got freaking another content creator. We just hired a web designer, Amanda. She's working on the Laser Everything marketplace. She's redoing our entire website. You can't wear all those hats, man. You can't. It gets to a point where you just cannot continue to grow by yourself. You're going to hit a bottleneck, and you're going to be throttled.
Had you heard of Eric Ries before?
I not before Alex who had mentioned them, and I believe you mentioned that exact same book on the first podcast we were on a year ago as well. So we'll have to link that down in the description again.
The Phoenix Project is another good one, but the Eric Ries, he tells the Laser Academy you can use this. Mm-hmm. If you think you're going to go buy like 100 things from China that cost like $10, so you're going to be in, and then you're going to sell them with an Instagram ad, Ries would tell you, run the ad. Just run the ad. Go spend $1,000 on Instagram and see if people, and then it goes to your webpage and then it's got the picture and then it says add to cart. And then it says, just kidding. We actually haven't done this. It's actually sold out, add to our backlist. And it's like, well, what's going to happen? You're either going to everyone's going to click that add to cart button and you're going to know. Now you're importing a product that you can sell, or you're going to spend $1,000 and no one's going to buy it, and you didn't have to waste your time and money on the inventory, right? So
on the inventory, so at least you saved the inventory money,
right? And it's like the first time I read that, I was sitting there and I was like, would I pay $1,000 right now to know whether or not this thing I'm going to import is going to work or not? It's like, that's a good, you don't. Maybe I'll just spend 100 and see what happens.
Yeah, exactly.
Test these ideas out.
Well, we are just about rolling up on our, I set a 45-minute mark because we are recording the actual podcast tonight. So we're going to be leaving the studio and then going live for other things. But before we go, I just really want to reiterate to everybody that this event is so important, not only to Alex and Charles, but to me and to Boyce and to Kyle and to my wife, Miranda. You guys love Mrs. Laser Everything. Jimmy, this is what we started Laser Everything for. This is, this is what we started Laser Everything for. And now is the time. This is like your time, guys, where you get to do something. You can make a real difference in these guys' lives. And if we aren't all helping each other out, then why are we here? Why do we have a community? Why do we have a channel? Why do we have the LMA? Why do we have the Discord or the Facebook? We can all affect real change for these two right now. They've worked so unbelievably hard, tireless hours, endless days to get to this point. And, I want to ask every single one of you guys out there, please check out this show. It's the Atlanta Tech Village, and participate in the voting. I mean, even as Charles said, if you like somebody else better, vote for them. But check out the event. See watch this pitch. Be there in spirit to
give us
them.
Feedback,
or give them feedback. I just feel like even if you don't vote, if you just watch the stupid thing, at least we'll, as a Laser Everything community, be there for these two guys who spawned out of that community. You know what I mean? This literally came from Laser Everything. We birthed this. Let's go to its recital, right? Let's go to its football game. It's time to go to its football game.
Just being one of the 5 on stage is massive.
Yeah.
Right. Like getting into the village, they're at capacity. They only let 1,200 people in.
Right.
And people are beating down the door. They want the beer on tap for free. They want
totally.
they want all the unicorns around them. And so being able to be on the stage is a huge honor for us. And even if you get one vote, everybody watches that. There's a lot of people, and it's a line in the sand. People are going to come back to this pitch over and over again and go, okay, well, now when I see them, I talk to them, they're saying, oh, they have 100 stores. Now we have 1,000. They're like, wow, look at that growth.
Right. Exactly.
I got a question then. Is the voting live? Can we all see it live? Can people on stage see it live?
Yeah, you'll see. So if I get 15 votes and another guy gets 10, they're like, okay, both of those ideas are neck and neck, and people look at that. And it's also a forcing function with, you said, you had a schedule. I have to go home and I have to go here and I have to do this. Having the idea concisely defined and creating the protagonist and going through what is the narrative? And Swaasi is a tough sell for a consumer because swag as a service isn't Etchified's better. It's way better. And unfortunately, apparently Swaasi is swamp ass, and I'd never heard that before. And so apparently in Canada, if you're Swaasi, it's like a bad. It was just like, come on, you got it. Why, Alex? Could you not have kept that one? Like, oh man. So that,
right.
you know, when you go through and you put yourself out there, like you do get gut punched.
Yeah.
And then you just heave over and you go, okay, yeah, that's it. That's it. Let me take myself from the wrong idea to the better idea. And this community has gotten me to where I needed to go like that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. That's amazing. Well,
So,
incredible story, guys. Really just so glad that we could have you back. I want to follow up. I mean, if honestly, if you guys win, we should have a little party. We could do another one. We can have a little party. We can let people know, the results of this, because I know that they're going to be interested. And, maybe we'll see you next year for the finale, right?
Or we'll send some follow-up content.
stage.
Well, I'll show the machines running and how we work together. You know,
Yeah,
you lay
awesome.
through the patch and then you press the hat, and like that machine's cheap. You know,
Mm-hmm,
you can get the hats, you can get the patches, and now you got an apparel line.
Exactly. And description. Head down there right now, guys. Seriously, if you haven't already voted, now is the time. It's very rapidly approaching the moment. I'm being me in the future now.
We're on
2
stage.
hours away. They're on stage. They literally are on stage right now. When you're watching this, they're on stage sweating their asses off. Go support them. There's a link down in the description. Don't forget to vote. I'm not even going to plug anything else. Just go do that. Don't sign up for the LMA. Don't go to the merch shop. Don't check out the buying guide. Just go support these guys. Give them your vote. Let's support something that actually, just like spawned out of this community. That's how excited I am. I'm just like banging shit. I'm just super stoked for you guys. Thank you so much for coming on. And I hope that we get to talk and have some good news next time that we get to chat.
Yeah, well, thanks a lot for having us on, Alex. And once again, this is really sort of shows, I think, the power of a community. And I mean, you've built this with your own hands, as much as you you have all this other help and talent that you pulled in, but it's because talent gravitates towards like a strong leader, right? So I mean, I thank you for everything that you've done for the laser community. And and I guess just to round things out for us, of course, come vote for us. I think we're the best. Vote for us. If you might check out, there might be some tickets left to come out for it. And if not, go on and check out some of the other pitches. It's actually really cool to see there's been some other companies in this space that have pitched recently as well. So it's kind of interesting to get different people's perspective on I guess like the customer problem statements that are out there right now. Might give some people a little bit of that sort of seed of thought, right, to move forward with their own thing. And once again, if you're in Atlanta, I mean, I'm moving from the Great White North. I'm riding my moose all the way to Atlanta. So I've got my maple syrup packed up. Got my mounted police escort.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'll wear my beaver skin coat. So I'm heading out to Atlanta, right? And I mean, if anyone's in the Atlanta area, feel free to hit myself or Charles up on Discord or LMA, and we'd love to have you out to see the factory. I mean, we're gonna have a lot of pretty darn cool lasers, including some sort of ones that you don't see too often, right? Like 3D UV galvos, and sort of a fleet of some other galvo lasers and gantry lasers and stuff. So you want to come out and check it out, and then also check out some of those adjacent processes, right? You want to see embroidery, you want to see heat transfer, you want to see some of these other processes that might lend themselves to someone branching out from laser. Feel free to hit us up. We'd love to give anyone a tour of our shop there. Awesome. And and once again, that invitation's open. So thanks a lot, Alex, for everything you've done for us.
Of course, I'm here to help. As always, guys, at your service. If you need anything else, just let me know. And that's the end of this episode. Thank you guys so much for joining me for another episode, a very special episode of the Laser Source podcast. And we will see you in the next one.
Awesome. Cool.